After I turned 42, something happened that no one warned me about. My energy crashed. My mood swings intensified. And that feminine spark I once had, nearly gone. But then I discovered 10 tiny biohacks that transformed my hormonal health. These micro habits take less than 3 minutes each. Like the simple hip swing you can add to your walk right now to feel more sensual and confident. From a 5-minute micro dress-up trick to morning rituals that balance hormones naturally, these habits have helped thousands of women over 40 reclaim their feminine energy during perimenopause. If you're ready to revitalize your feminine spark with these tiny daily shifts, hit subscribe and let's dive in. 10 tiny biohacks to boost your feminine energy. After morning cortisol management ritual. I remember waking up after a full 8 hours of sleep, feeling like I hadn't slept at all. My alarm would go off, and I'd struggle to peel myself out of bed, despite turning in early the night before. This happened day after day, until I learned about a simple 5-minute morning ritual that completely transformed my energy levels. What I discovered was a micro habit that makes a remarkable difference in how I feel throughout the day. Swinging my hips when I walk. It sounds incredibly simple, but this small movement activates feminine energy that's stored in our hips. As women over 40, we often become disconnected from this natural movement pattern, especially as we spend more time sitting at desks or rushing through our days. The morning ritual I now practice takes just minutes, but delivers powerful results. I put on my favorite upbeat music and go for a short 5-minute stroll, focusing specifically on creating soft, fluid hip movements. I allow my body to find its natural rhythm, letting my hips sway gently from side to side with each step. This simple practice helps me feel more embodied and connected to my feminine essence. Our hips contain energy centers that, when activated through movement, can release stagnant energy and improve overall vitality. The gentle swaying motion increases blood flow to the pelvic region and helps release tension that many of us unconsciously hold in this area. Let me quickly demonstrate how I practice this. I start by standing with my feet hip-width apart, knees slightly bent. As I begin walking, I focus on initiating the movement from my hips rather than my legs. Like this demonstration, the key is keeping the movement fluid and natural, not exaggerated or forced. The beauty of this ritual lies in its simplicity. By incorporating this gentle hip swinging into a short morning walk, you're essentially reconnecting with your body's natural movement patterns that may have become restricted over time. This helps prevent that disconnected feeling that many women over 40 experience as they navigate perimenopause. My clients typically notice improved mood and energy within just a week of starting this practice. One client, Maria, told me she felt more vibrant and present after just 2 weeks of this morning ritual. She said, "I didn't believe something so simple could make such a difference, but I feel more connected to my body throughout the day." You can easily modify this approach to fit your lifestyle. If walking outside isn't convenient, you can practice these hip movements while doing household chores or even standing in place. The important thing is to move your hips intentionally and mindfully for at least 5 minutes. For this ritual to be most effective, try to incorporate it within 30 minutes of waking. This timing helps set a positive tone for your day and reminds you to stay connected to your body. Strategic movement patterns for hip mobility. Have you noticed how your walk has changed since you turned 40? Many women don't realize that their natural gait actually shifts during perimenopause. I first spotted this in my clients. That subtle tightness in the hips, the slightly shorter stride. It's not about aging, it's about how hormonal changes affect your connective tissue. As estrogen naturally declines during perimenopause, the fascia and ligaments around your hips become less elastic. This creates a physical restriction that many women feel, but can't quite identify. The impact extends to your feminine energy expression. When your hips feel locked, that fluid feminine quality in your movement diminishes. This is why I encourage women to focus on maintaining natural hip movement during perimenopause. Research suggests that our hips serve as a reservoir of divine feminine energy. By allowing natural hip sway during walking, you can reconnect with this feminine flow that often becomes restricted during hormonal transitions. The solution is remarkably simple: consciously softening your hips while walking. This means allowing your hips to move naturally with each step rather than holding them rigid. Many women unconsciously tighten their hip muscles during perimenopause, creating a more restricted walking pattern. Try this. As you walk, imagine your hip joints are well oiled and free to move. Let your pelvis naturally shift with each step. This isn't about exaggerated movement, just releasing unnecessary tension that may have developed over time. The connection between hip movement and feminine energy appears in both traditional wisdom and modern research. Traditional practices across cultures have emphasized hip movements for feminine vitality. Meanwhile, research in movement psychology shows that freedom in the pelvic area affects both how we feel emotionally and how we express ourselves. I've seen remarkable changes in women who practice this conscious hip softening. Their posture shifts noticeably, pelvis more neutral, shoulders relaxed, and an overall appearance of confidence. One client's stance became more balanced and open in just 2 weeks of practicing this technique. You don't need special exercise time for this. Simply bring awareness to your hip movement during your regular daily walks. Whether you're walking to your car, around your home, or taking an evening stroll, use these moments to practice moving with more freedom. Perhaps the most surprising benefit is how hip mobility affects confidence. Research suggests that women who maintain fluid hip movement during perimenopause report higher confidence levels in social situations. It seems our bodies and minds are connected in profound ways. When your body moves with freedom, your self-perception shifts too. This simple practice of walking with softened hips can help you maintain both physical comfort and feminine confidence during perimenopause. Micronutrient timing for estrogen metabolism. Here's something that shocked me when I first learned it. After 40, our energy levels can fluctuate dramatically throughout the day. I had been trying all the right health approaches, but wasn't seeing the impact I wanted on my symptoms. During perimenopause, our hormone fluctuations affect our energy and mood throughout the day. The self-care practices that used to work fine might need adjustment. These changes happen gradually, which is why many women don't connect their new symptoms to this shifting energy pattern. This is where the concept of micro-habits becomes so important. These are small intentional actions that take just minutes but can significantly impact your hormone balance and energy. One particularly effective micro-habit is what I call the 5-minute micro dress-up. This simple practice involves taking just 5 minutes to refresh your appearance, touching up your eyebrows and adding a swipe of lipstick. While it sounds superficial, research shows this brief ritual creates a powerful psychological shift that affects your hormones and energy levels. The 5-minute micro dress-up works because it activates what psychologists call enclothed cognition, the influence that clothes and appearance have on your psychological processes. When you take those few minutes to change into a cute outfit, define your eyebrows and add lipstick, you're actually triggering biochemical changes that can help balance your hormones. Many women in perimenopause report that this micro-habit helps them overcome the afternoon energy slump. Instead of reaching for caffeine or sugar, taking 5 minutes to refresh your appearance sends signals to your brain that boost alertness and confidence. I've seen impressive changes in women who implemented this approach. One client who struggled with afternoon fatigue and brain fog found that her 5-minute refresh around 2 p.m. helped her maintain focus and energy for the rest of the day. She noticed improvements in her productivity and mood within just a week. This strategic micro-habit helps your body counteract what researchers call the midday cortisol dip, a natural decline in stress hormones that can feel especially pronounced during perimenopause. By giving your brain and body this quick reset, you're supporting your natural energy regulation. You don't need expensive products to make this work. A tinted lip balm, a quick eyebrow brush, and perhaps changing from a work shirt to a favorite blouse can be enough to trigger the positive hormonal response. One of the most unexpected benefits women report from this approach is improved confidence in social situations. Many find that taking those 5 minutes before an important meeting or social gathering helps them feel more present and engaged, which others notice as well. Circadian rhythm practices for feminine glow. There's a fascinating connection that most women don't know about. Disrupted sleep patterns after 40 can actually accelerate skin aging. I discovered this when researching why my skin suddenly looked dull and tired, despite using the same skincare products I'd loved for years. Let me introduce you to micro-habit done 3, getting comfortable asking for help. This might sound simple, but it's actually a powerful way to reclaim your feminine energy during perimenopause. When hormones fluctuate, many women find themselves trying to power through challenges independently, which can deplete their energy and increase stress hormones. In my research, I found that women in perimenopause often resist asking for help because they've been conditioned to handle everything themselves. One study revealed a perfect example. Women would spend an average of 12 minutes wandering a grocery store, looking for an item, rather than taking 30 seconds to ask an employee for assistance. This independent approach might seem efficient, but it actually creates unnecessary stress and depletes feminine energy. The mental mantra I recommend adopting is simply, "Let things be easy." This phrase helps reprogram the perimenopausal brain to seek support rather than struggle. When you allow things to be easy by asking for help, you activate the parasympathetic nervous system, your body's rest and repair mode, which supports hormonal balance. Practicing this habit creates a virtuous cycle. Each time you ask for help, you strengthen neural pathways that make it easier to do so again. You're literally rewiring your brain to embrace support rather than struggle. This reduces cortisol levels, which directly impacts skin health, energy levels, and emotional well-being. I've observed that women who practice asking for help report feeling more feminine and centered. Their relationships improve because they allow others to contribute, creating deeper connections. They describe feeling lighter and more present, classic indicators of balanced feminine energy. Start with small requests in low-stakes situations. Ask a store employee for help finding an item instead of searching yourself. Request assistance carrying something heavy rather than straining. Ask your partner to handle a task you normally take on. Each small request builds your comfort with receiving support. What's remarkable is how quickly this habit creates visible changes. Within just 2 weeks, women report feeling more relaxed, experiencing fewer stress symptoms, and even noticing improved sleep quality. Their skin appears more radiant, simply because they're carrying less tension and stress. This micro-habit works because it aligns with our natural need for community and connection. Humans evolved as social creatures, and women especially thrive when supported by others. By embracing help, you're not showing weakness. You're actually demonstrating wisdom by conserving your precious energy for what truly matters. Breathwork techniques for nervous system balance. Did you know that your breathing patterns actually change during perimenopause? Research shows that many women shift to shallow chest breathing without even noticing. I certainly didn't until I recorded myself during a regular workday and was surprised to see I was barely breathing at all. This shift to shallow breathing triggers your sympathetic nervous system, your body's stress response. It's like having your foot gently pressing the gas pedal all day long. Your body stays in a subtle but constant state of alert, which affects everything from your hormone balance to your energy levels. This explains why many women over 40 feel anxious or on edge, even when nothing stressful is happening. Micro-habit, Den 4, involves building tiny moments of pleasure through purely fun activities. These activities activate your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your body's rest and restore mode. This helps counterbalance the stress response that becomes more active during perimenopause. I discovered this when I started reading fiction for 15-20 minutes before bed. After years of only reading business books, this simple pleasure became a highlight of my day. Many women in my community have found similar benefits from activities like knitting, painting, or singing in the shower. Anything done purely for enjoyment rather than productivity. When your nervous system shifts into this restorative state, qualities traditionally associated with feminine energy naturally emerge: receptivity, intuition, and presence. Removing the stress response unblocks these natural qualities that often get suppressed in our busy lives. Many women in perimenopause experience that wired but tired feeling, exhausted but unable to relax. These pleasure micro-habits help break this frustrating cycle by signaling to your body that it's safe to rest and recover. For maximum hormone balancing effects, try incorporating these pleasure moments at 3 strategic times. First thing in the morning to set a calm tone for the day, mid-afternoon when cortisol naturally dips, and before bed to support melatonin production. Even just once a day makes a difference. But these 3 times create a rhythm that your hormones respond to. One unexpected benefit many women report is improved digestion and reduced bloating. When we engage in activities we truly enjoy, we naturally breathe more deeply. This deeper breathing massages your digestive organs and improves blood flow to your gut, which often becomes more sensitive during perimenopause. Many women notice less bloating within just a few days of regular pleasure breaks. The key is choosing activities that feel genuinely pleasurable to you, not what you think you should enjoy. When I asked women what they'd do if they had 15 minutes just for themselves, many couldn't answer at first. We've become so disconnected from what brings us joy. Start by remembering what you loved as a child, before productivity became the measure of your worth. Cold exposure mini protocols for cellular rejuvenation. There's a widespread belief that hot therapies like saunas and hot yoga are the best options for women over 40. I believed this too until I discovered research showing that brief cold exposure can actually be more effective for women during perimenopause. This came as a surprise to me, especially since I'd spent years investing in hot treatments. Let me introduce you to micro-habit. Then 5. Creating a second brain. As we navigate perimenopause, our cognitive function often experiences fluctuations. Many women report brain fog or difficulty keeping track of information. This is where the concept of a second brain becomes invaluable. Creating a second brain means developing an external system to store information, tasks, and ideas outside your mind. This frees your actual brain to focus on what it does best: creative thinking and problem solving. Your biological brain is designed for creation and innovation, not for storing endless to-do lists and appointment details. I recommend using either a physical agenda or digital tools like Notion, Evernote, or even the Notes app on your phone. The key is consistency in using your chosen system. When a thought arises about something you need to do, immediately capture it in your second brain rather than trying to remember it. Women in perimenopause particularly benefit from this practice because hormonal fluctuations can affect working memory. By offloading information storage to an external system, you reduce cognitive load and minimize stress. This allows your brain to operate more efficiently during a time when you might feel mentally scattered. The most effective second brain systems organize information into categories. I suggest creating sections for daily tasks, long-term projects, ideas, and resources. This organization makes retrieval effortless when you need specific information. One client, a 47-year-old executive, implemented this system and reported a 30% increase in productivity within 2 weeks. She noted, "I used to waste mental energy trying to remember everything. Now I can focus completely on the task at hand." Another benefit is improved sleep quality. Many women experience sleep disruptions during perimenopause, often worsened by racing thoughts at bedtime. By documenting thoughts and tasks in your second brain before sleep, you signal to your mind that it's safe to rest. For optimal results, review your second brain system at consistent times, perhaps morning and evening. This creates a reliable rhythm that your brain comes to trust, further reducing the tendency to mentally rehearse tasks. The practice of maintaining a second brain also supports emotional regulation. When overwhelmed by hormonal shifts, having a clear external system provides a sense of control and order that can be deeply reassuring. Start small by choosing one tool and consistently using it for a week. Notice how your mental clarity improves as you train your brain to focus on creation while your second brain handles storage. Chronobiological beauty routines for aging skin. I made a surprising discovery. When studying skin changes after 40, it's not about which products you use. It's about when you use them. I was applying my expensive serums at all the wrong times, which explained why my skin wasn't responding like it used to. When we enter perimenopause, our skin cell regeneration cycles change. The 28-day renewal process that worked perfectly in our 30s stretches to 40+ days as estrogen levels fluctuate. This is why conventional skincare advice often fails for women over 40. It doesn't account for these new hormonal rhythms. Let me introduce microhabit 6, not racing to the door. This seemingly small behavior makes a remarkable difference in cultivating feminine presence. I noticed how often I would rush ahead to open doors, whether at restaurants or getting into the car. It was an automatic response, efficient, independent, and completely disconnected from allowing others to extend courtesy. Research shows that allowing your partner to open doors for you creates moments of connection and appreciation. When I first practiced this at a restaurant date with my husband, I consciously stayed back a half step as we approached the entrance. The small pause created space for him to step forward naturally. The moment felt different. I felt more present, more receptive. This micro habit helps counteract the doing-it-all mindset many women develop through years of multitasking. During perimenopause, we often become so accustomed to handling everything ourselves that we forget to allow others to contribute in small ways. One client shared how this simple practice transformed her relationship dynamics. I never realized how much I was rushing through life until I started pausing at doorways, she told me. Now my husband automatically reaches for the car door, and that moment of pause has extended to other areas of our interaction. The beauty of this practice lies in its simplicity. You don't need to announce your intention or make dramatic changes. Simply slow your pace slightly when approaching doors, creating natural space for your partner to step forward. Women report feeling more feminine and present after implementing this habit for just 2 weeks. The physical act of pausing and receiving helps activate receptive energy that many women find diminishes during perimenopause when they're managing multiple responsibilities. This micro habit extends beyond doors. It's about creating small opportunities throughout your day to receive rather than always giving and doing. The pause becomes a moment of mindfulness that can help reduce stress hormones and create a sense of being supported. By working with this simple practice, rather than against it, you cultivate feminine presence during a time when many women feel disconnected from their essential nature. Posture adjustments for feminine presence. Have you noticed how you sit or stand has changed since you turned 40? I began observing this in my clients, and even caught myself doing it. Shoulders slightly rounded forward, head jutting forward, and a subtle collapse through the chest. This isn't just poor posture, it's actually a hormonal response. Let me introduce you to microhabit 7, slowing down. This practice is essential during perimenopause, when our bodies are experiencing significant hormonal shifts. Research shows that consciously reducing your pace during everyday activities creates a powerful connection with your body and softens your nervous system. When we deliberately slow down while walking, we activate different muscle patterns. and allow our bodies to move more naturally. This mindful pace helps counteract the tension patterns that develop during perimenopause when our hormones fluctuate. Many women find that simply walking more slowly helps release the tightness in their shoulders and neck that accumulates during this life phase. Your skincare routine offers a daily chance to embody feminine energy through slower movements. Rather than quickly applying products before rushing to the next task, take time to feel the texture of each product and the sensation on your skin. This mindful approach transforms a basic routine into a nurturing ritual that honors your changing body. Cooking provides another perfect opportunity to practice this micro-habit. Instead of rushing through meal preparation, try moving with intention. Chop vegetables deliberately, stir sauces mindfully, and plate your food with care. This slowed pace not only makes cooking more enjoyable, but also helps your body shift out of stress mode and into a more relaxed state. The beauty of slowing down is how it affects your hormonal balance. When you move at a deliberate pace, your cortisol levels naturally decrease, which supports your overall hormonal health during perimenopause. Women who practice this micro-habit report feeling more centered and less reactive to the emotional fluctuations that often accompany this transition. Many of my clients are surprised by how challenging it initially feels to slow down. We've become so accustomed to rushing that deliberate movement can feel almost uncomfortable at first. However, after just a few days of practice, they begin noticing profound shifts in how they feel in their bodies. To incorporate this micro-habit, choose one daily activity to slow down by 25%. Notice how your breathing naturally deepens and how tension melts away from your shoulders, jaw, and pelvic floor. This simple practice helps you embody feminine energy during perimenopause, when many women feel disconnected from their changing bodies. The most remarkable benefit women report is how quickly this micro-habit improves their overall sense of well-being. Many experience a noticeable shift in just 1 week of consistent practice. Vocal resonance practices for feminine communication. Here's something most women don't know. Your voice often changes during perimenopause. I first noticed this when listening to recordings of my presentations from my 30s compared to my mid-40s. My voice had become slightly higher, sometimes cracked unexpectedly, and had lost some of its natural resonance. This affects how others perceive you and how you feel about expressing yourself. These voice changes happen because hormonal fluctuations directly affect your vocal cord tissue. Estrogen and progesterone help maintain the elasticity and hydration of your vocal cords. As these hormones shift during perimenopause, your vocal cords can become slightly drier and less flexible. The resonance chambers in your chest, throat, and face also change subtly, affecting your voice's natural timbre. Even your speech patterns may shift without you realizing it. Many women notice they speak more quickly, with shorter sentences, or with a rising inflection at the end of statements that can make them sound less confident. I've created what I call vocal anchoring, a simple 60-second practice that helps maintain your natural voice resonance and feminine communication patterns during these hormonal transitions. This is about supporting your voice's natural qualities. The technique has 3 parts. First, diaphragmatic breathing. Place one hand on your belly and take 3 deep breaths that expand your lower abdomen, creating a foundation of support for your voice. Second, soft palate activation. Gently yawn with your mouth closed to lift your soft palate and create more space in your resonance chambers. Third, gentle vocal humming. With lips closed, hum at a comfortable middle pitch and feel the vibration in your face, chest, and neck. Now let me introduce micro-habit 8. Let things be 95%. This simple mental shift asks, does this need to be 100% perfect, or can it be 95%? Our research shows this question alone significantly reduces burnout, while preserving joy in various activities. When writing a report, painting a room, or organizing your closet, aiming for that final 5% of perfection often consumes disproportionate time and energy. By consciously choosing to stop at 95% completion, you preserve mental resources for other priorities. This approach works particularly well for recurring tasks. For example, when writing weekly emails, allowing them to be good enough rather than meticulously perfect frees up cognitive space. Similarly, when cooking dinner or cleaning your home, the 95% standard maintains quality while preventing exhaustion. The most surprising finding from our research was how this micro-habit actually improves overall satisfaction. Women who implemented the 95% approach reported greater enjoyment of activities they previously found draining. One participant noted that her painting hobby became pleasurable again when she stopped obsessing over every brushstroke. Try applying this to one task today. Notice how it feels to deliberately choose excellent over perfect, and observe how much mental energy you reclaim in the process. Evening wind-down rituals for hormonal harmony. Micro-habit 9. Buying tiny treats for yourself. Have you ever noticed how a small, unexpected gift can brighten your entire day? Research shows that regularly purchasing small treats for yourself, what psychologists call micro-pleasures, can significantly boost your emotional well-being and reinforce your sense of self-worth. Unlike major purchases that often come with financial stress or buyer's remorse, tiny treats provide immediate joy without the downside. These small indulgences activate the brain's reward centers, releasing dopamine and creating positive emotional associations that can last far longer than the treat itself. What makes tiny treats so powerful is their accessibility. They don't require planning, saving, or significant financial resources. A $4 cup of peppermint tea from your favorite cafe, a new nail polish in a color that makes you smile, or a small bunch of fresh flowers for your desk. These modest purchases create moments of pleasure throughout your week. The psychological benefits extend beyond the momentary happiness. When you regularly provide yourself with small pleasures, you reinforce an important internal message. You are worthy of care and attention. This self-affirming behavior builds resilience against stress and negative self-talk that often accompanies busy, demanding lives. Women particularly benefit from this practice. Research indicates that women often prioritize others' needs while neglecting their own simple pleasures. The tiny treats approach reverses this pattern by creating regular moments of self-acknowledgement without triggering guilt about self-indulgence. The key is consistency rather than cost. A weekly tiny treat creates more lasting well-being than occasional expensive splurges. This regular rhythm of small pleasures establishes a reliable source of joy you can look forward to during challenging days. To maximize benefits, practice mindful enjoyment of your treats. When you purchase that peppermint tea, take a moment to appreciate its aroma, the warmth of the cup, and the refreshing taste. This full sensory engagement amplifies the pleasure and creates stronger positive associations. Many women report that implementing this habit changes their relationship with pleasure and self-care. Rather than seeing enjoyment as something that must be earned through productivity or sacrifice, tiny treats normalize the idea that regular moments of pleasure belong in everyday life. Start by identifying 3-5 tiny treats that bring you genuine joy. Keep the cost under $10 to maintain sustainability. Then schedule these small indulgences throughout your week. Perhaps a Monday morning coffee shop visit or Thursday afternoon flowers to brighten your desk before the weekend. The most powerful tiny treats often engage multiple senses: the visual appeal of fresh flowers, the tactile pleasure of a soft scarf, or the delicious taste of a special chocolate. These multi-sensory experiences create stronger neural connections associated with pleasure and self-worth. Each of these micro-habits works with your changing biochemistry. After 40, not against it. Swinging hips, micro-dress-up, asking for help, pleasure moments. Second brain, door courtesy, slowing down, 95%, tiny treats, and scheduling me time support your body's natural rhythms. You don't need to do all 10. Even implementing 3-4 consistently can create noticeable shifts within 2 to 3 weeks. Many women find their energy mood, and feminine vitality improving with these simple changes. Which micro habit will you try first? Let me know in the comments. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe for more science-backed feminine energy tips.